Okay, this is the last Last of Us video I'm doing for a while. Now, I never played the game. I watched the first season on DVD and I liked it. I like Pedro Pascal. It's the only thing I'd really seen him in, really. I didn't really like the other actress. I think she was in Game of Thrones or something when she was younger. I'm not sure. I keep meaning to research that and forgetting. So, but I don't feel she can act. She has no range. Her face is just this big round thing that doesn't move or do anything, and people keep referring to her as a potato, and I'm like, I can see that. I know it's nasty. I know she has some issues that she's been diagnosed with, and maybe people are making fun of her for that, but I don't know if that's got anything to do with the fact that I just don't think she can act, and all that. So there's a whole bunch of dramas on that. But the other issue was, because I didn't play the game, I didn't know what was going to happen, and I just assumed Pedro was the main character and he was just going to be the main character for the series, and you just worry about him, going on adventures and surviving the whole time. Then Jessie Gender ruined the whole series for me. She spoiled the whole series for me because she did a review of season 1, season 2, episode 1, and she kept saying, there's going to be spoilers, I'm going to have spoilers, don't listen if you want spoilers, and I just assumed she was talking about spoilers for that episode, She didn't make it clear that this is a spoiler for the whole series, the whole game, the whole franchise, It's huge. So I just kept watching the review and didn't really know what was coming. And she reveals that this other character comes and kills the Pedro Pascal character just out of nowhere. And in the game, she was a big buff person, and she had no backstory. No one knew who she was. Everyone hated her. There was a huge backlash because you just had this character that a lot of people didn't like, in part because they're a bunch of misogynists and misandrists, and they can't handle, literally physically strong women and all that all those stereotypes. All that came into play, and it was just a big, huge drama. And I'd heard about this drama with the second game, and I'm like, I didn't really know what it was. So I just heard there was drama, and I didn't know what it was. And now I know why people hate this character on two levels: what she did, with no explanation, and also who she was because of people's prejudice and that. So they seem to play that down with this season, where they made her a normal build, just a normal girl. In fact, she's actually kind of small, and next to the other people in her little crew, it's surprising that they'd be following her, as some people like Jessie Gender pointed out. But yeah, she gets a bit of a backstory, a bit of an explanation. You know why she's killing him, and apparently it takes the shock and awe out of it, because in the game it just happens and you're like, oh my god, what the hell? Whereas now it's like, yeah, we saw that coming, we knew that was coming, and then we saw it coming in the actual episode and we got an explanation for why. Now, is that going to soften the blow and make managing that character more? Because my understanding is in the game, you eventually start playing through her and you start understanding her from a different perspective. Now, I don't get that because I don't play games. I don't quite know how that would play out, and how that would affect the narrative and the story and all that, but apparently it did. So what I am confused about now is, how do they do the series? How do they go on with this one potato rolling through the frame? And the other issue is she's gay, so of course everyone's going to get on that. And so how's this show going to survive with a lesbian potato? And the main star gone. The Pedro Pascal the Pascal is gone. Is he going to come back in flashbacks? Are they going to keep him in the show somehow? Or have they really just killed him off and that's it? He was just going to do really one season. And that was always the plan, and everyone knew that because they knew the game, but I didn't know the game. There's a lot of people who watched the first season who had no idea what was coming, and are is this going to have a third season? Is this season going to tank? Because we lost our main star and we're just left with this really bad actor who kind of looks funny, and people are making fun of her and can't take her seriously. And then there's also people who hate her because of her sexuality, and there's going to be a lot of hate and just general lack of enthusiasm and interest in this character. So I don't see how the show is going to continue. So yeah, so I did a couple of videos angry at Jessie Gender for ruining the game, and then maybe what was going to happen. And then it was like, well, now I'm curious, are they going to do that? How is the game going to, is the series going to follow what the game did? And now it has. So that's all answered. So I just did one video to sort of cover it all instead of having like 3 videos that I was going to put up. And it's like, I think it's just easier because I made one and then this happened. I made one and then that happened. And then the last one. And then it's like, I'm just going to redo the whole thing and just talk about the whole scenario in one video and see what people think. Do you think this was a mistake? Is the series different from a game? Can you lose the main character in a series and still be interested in it? Can you follow a series without certain characters, as opposed to a game where you are that person? So I don't see how it matters anyway. I don't really quite get how that works. I've never played really a computer game, and I don't. So, but yeah. So, what do you think? Was this a mistake? Is season 2 going to be any good? Are they going to get a season 3? Was there a third game? Was there ever planned to be a third season? I have no idea. I just know I'm not really going to bother watching the series. There's one episode with Pedro Pascal and he dies, so I think I'm good. The first season I enjoyed it, and I didn't see how their characters could go after everything that happened at the end of the season anyway, so I wasn't expecting to enjoy season 2, even if all the characters had stayed alive. But yeah, I'm going to go, and who knows what's going to happen because I'll probably never watch it.